Okay, so what will the mark of the beast actually be? I've said in previous videos that I do not believe, in fact, I would just say I know the vaccine is not the mark of the beast. It's not a mark. We don't have a beast. Do you know anybody who's getting the vaccine in their forehead? I mean, do we have a one world government? Do we have a one world leader? Do we have a one world religion? Are we in the tribulation? Do we have any of this stuff that it talks about in the book of Revelation? No. So I do believe, as I've said before, that this is a push in that direction. It is a push in the direction of you have to do ABC if you want to be able to do XYZ. I do think this is a push in the mark of the beast direction, but again, is it the mark of the beast? No. So one of the comments that I had gotten on a previous video said something, that I think is correct, which is the mark of the beast will be a definitive thing, but it'll also be progressive in the sense that it's not going to be like life is just normal and then all of a sudden some guy is like, hey, I want you guys to take the mark of the beast. It's going to be this progressive unfolding of people wanting to take away more rights and more liberties and more force you to do particular things and track you in new ways and track your medical history. All this different type of stuff is just gonna unfold. Now, I do believe there's a big revival coming, so that may kind of stave all of this off. But the point is, before you get to the mark of the beast, before you get to capital M mark of the beast, there will be lots of lowercase m marks of the beast, lots of things that are a push in that direction. But the difference between those things and the mark of the beast, from what the Bible says, is that the mark of the beast is like this point of no return. Like if you take the lowercase m marks of the beast, then you can come back from those. You can say, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or oh, but and you can still be redeemed and you can still be saved and you can still be all of that. But whatever the mark of the beast is, which I'm gonna show you an image of what I kind of think it is, what I think it's gonna look like. When you take that, there's no coming back. There's no, like, you have sealed your fate. Okay, so I'm not going to read all the book of Revelation passages about the mark of the beast, but I'm going to read a couple. So just to get at that notion of if you get it, there's no coming back. So this is Revelation 14, 9 and 10. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that's pretty clear cut. Whoever gets it, it ain't going to be good. Whoever gets it, you're done for. Now, there's other verses, in the New Testament that indicate that same sort of notion. But like I said, I'm not going to get into all the verses. Sometime you should definitely, if you haven't, read the whole book of Revelation. There's a lot about the mark of the beast spread throughout, but kind of like 13, 14, 15, 16 is where the bulk of it is. So let's read Revelation 13, verses 16, 17, and 18. Okay. And he causeth all, this is the Antichrist, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is, I'm going to paraphrase, 666. So it's 600, 6. So 3 is 20, 3 score is 60, 6 is 66. So the number is 666. Okay. So first thing, it's a mark. It's a mark, and you're going to get it, and you're going to get it in your hand, or you're going to get it in your forehead. And like I said a couple videos back, it's not going to be a secret. When the mark of the beast shows up, the world is going to be a way different place. The world is going to be handed over largely to a reprobate mind. The world will be full of anti-theism, okay, which is not atheism. Atheism is there is no God. Anti-theism is there's a God and I hate him. Okay, that's what anti-theism says. So by the time the mark of the beast rolls around, by the time Lucifer's set to take over, his reign, to rule basically, by the time that time comes, the world will be a way different place. It'll be handed over to anti-theism, overt Luciferianism. People will already be worshiping Lucifer, and they'll be ready to just, give him the keys basically to worship him as God. So the mark of the beast, when it comes, will be a definitive mark in the hand, in the forehead. And like I said, when you get it, you'll know what it is, or you reasonably should know what it is, okay? And that is to say, there will probably be people who get it, who will think, I know it's the mark of the beast, but I just want to be able to buy and sell, and it's probably not that big of a deal. God will forgive me. So there will be people who will take it in a delusional sort of way, but it will be, like I just said, even if they don't know exactly what they're doing, or they don't fully understand the ramifications of it, from God's vantage point, they will have been reasonably warned. They will have a reasonable sense of what they have opted into. If they don't know what they've opted into, then that falls on them, because at that time it'll be sufficiently clear. Okay, I 100% believe that that's true. And like I said, that's what I talked about in the Mark of the Beast will not be a secret video. Okay, so what's the Mark of the Beast gonna look like? Okay, so I'm gonna leave a link in the description to this guy's YouTube channel. Unfortunately, he does not have this video up anymore. He's actually deleted, it seems like, about half of his videos. I reached out to him. I didn't hear anything from him. So, if he ever reaches out to me and he says he wants me to take this video down because I'm using a version of his image, then I'll probably do that. So this guy, Ivan Tuttle, what he says, and I believe him, okay, I watched a lot of his videos and I 100% think he's telling the truth. Let me say two things. A person could be telling the truth as they believe it, but they could still be wrong. Like, a person could be telling you stuff that's wrong, but they believe it, so they're not lying, okay, but they're not right because they're giving you wrong information. So I think that he is telling the truth as he knows it, that he's not making this story up, that he's not crazy, that he's not a liar. He's telling the truth as he believes it to be. And I also believe he is actually telling that which is true. I think what he was shown is accurate. And okay, so let me get into a little bit about Ivan Tuttle. So what he says is that in 1978, he died. He was, I think at that time, an agnostic, and he went to hell. And he saw hell in all its glory, quote unquote. I mean, the fire, the brimstone, I mean, all the stuff you hear about from all kinds of, I don't know if you ever watched Hell Testimonies, but the Hell Testimonies all say pretty much the same thing. Darkness, fire, brimstone, demons, etc. Okay, so Ivan Tuttle dies and goes to hell, sees all this stuff, starts calling on Jesus, and that was the only thing he could think to do, call on God, call on Jesus, and he got snatched out of hell, and he got taken up to heaven. And when he got taken up to heaven, he got shown all kinds of stuff that was coming in the future, and then he came back to earth. And he was clinically dead for something like 2 or 3 hours. So that's the nutshell version or account of Ivan Tuttle. 1978, he died, he went to hell, then he went to heaven. God showed him all kinds of stuff. And over the course of the last, 30, 40 years, he's told people about stuff. He's written some books about stuff. He's made YouTube videos about stuff. He's released stuff in times when God has told him to release it. And he says, he even has more information, but it's not time for him to release it. And I will tell you, as somebody who hears from God, that's how it works. There's times he tells you stuff, but you can't do anything with it. There's times, you feel like you know something and you think, well, I want to make a video about this. And he's like, oh, don't make a video about this yet. So like I said, I don't doubt Ivan Tuttle, okay? You can watch his videos and you can conclude if he's telling the truth or he's lying or he's right or he's wrong. But I'm just telling you, for me, A, I believe he's telling me the truth of what happened to him, and B, I believe it's actually accurate. Okay, so he said, amongst all the various things that God showed him when he went up to heaven, God showed him what the mark of the beast looked like, how it was affixed, and basically, to some degree, what it was or what it indicated or what it meant, okay? So before I show you this picture and kind of describe it, I will tell you, like I said, I think that this is going to be affixed in like a way that I would call subdermal etching. Like, it's not going to be a superficial tattoo. It's not going to be just put in to the top layer of the skin. It's going to be really embedded in there, maybe laser etched below the surface or something like that. Again, I'm talking about something that I think is a ways off. I think this is 100 years, 200 years. Who knows? But I think this is a ways off, okay? So this very rudimentary drawing, okay? I didn't even have blank white paper. I had to draw it on line paper. But this is a rudimentary drawing of what Ivan Tuttle saw when he went to heaven, and that this was the mark of the beast. Now you got to understand, this would be, really tiny. Just put right there, or they got some machine, put it right there. And so what it was, and again, I watched this video several months ago. I went to go watch it again, but it wasn't there, so I'm just trying to go off of memory. But basically what he said is you had these up here that looked pretty much like barcodes. You had these down here that looked pretty much like QR codes. And then you had this stuff here, which was some type of new technology. He didn't know what it was. He just scribbled it the best he could scribble it. And so each of these sections contained information. So this was like a who are you section. Who are your parents? Where were you born? What's your age? What's your birthday? What's your social security number? Yada, 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 yada. This, I believe he had said, pertained to all of your medical information. So what illnesses did you have or had you have, or diseases or this or that, or what type of procedures had you had, probably what type of vaccinations have you had. This was going to indicate all of your medical data. And then this last one was, what can you do, right? Where can you go? Where can you shop? What can you buy? What places do you have access to? Are you allowed to own a house? Are you only allowed to own an apartment? Are you allowed to have property? Like, this is basically all your buying, selling. Who are, like, this this plus this pretty much says what this is going to amount to. And again, this part here, I can't remember if he talked about this or not, but I remember him saying this was just stuff he wasn't completely clear on, but it sort of had something to do with linking these three together. And so what he says is that he drew 6 lines specifically because that's what he saw. This is your 666. This is your mark of the beast. It's the number of a man, and the number is 666. So I absolutely, I think this is correct. I mean, if this isn't correct, this is close to correct. This is the type of thing you can expect. It's not going to be merely a vaccine. It's not going to be, a microchip, or I don't think it's going to be a microchip. But whatever it is, when it comes out, you'll know what you're doing. You will know what it means. You will be warned that there's no turning back, that once you take it, you can't untake it, that once you take it, you have sealed your fate. It's not the vaccine, people. I mean, come on. This is just, it's not the vaccine. So, and again, I say this as somebody, who is not the biggest fan of the vaccine that's out there, okay? So, I'm just telling you, though, that the vaccine is not the mark of the beast. This or something like this in the future, that's the mark of the beast. So I don't know if we're going to see the mark of the beast in our lifetime. We will see in our lifetime pushes in that direction. Whatever happens with the vaccine, or if all this COVID stuff goes away, that's definitely not going to be the end of the powers that be, trying to figure out ways to force you or semi-force you to do things, or restrict things. They're going to restrict these things if you don't do these things. I mean, there's a lot more of that stuff coming down the pipeline, and like I said, it is possible that the Christian revival that I strongly feel is coming. I actually think it's already begun, and it's going to be coming more. It is possible that will stave all of this type of stuff off for some period of time, years or few decades or whatever. But at some point, all of this stuff will come back with a vengeance. Witchcraft, the occult, the powers that be, Illuminati 2.0, whatever. All these wicked forces will regroup and learn from their failings and learn from the mistakes of the past, and come back stronger and more ready to make a stronger push and a more intelligent push, and have more chess pieces in place and better chess pieces in place. So again, at some point down the pipeline, whether this is years or decades or more off, you will see a push for obedience to do what the powers that be says. Listen to the government, don't question anything. Greater restrictions on freedom, limiting what you can do based on XYZ, based on probably to some degree medical procedures, limited to some degree perhaps based on ideologies or professed beliefs or held beliefs or whatever. Like I said, there will be all these parameters. You've got to do ABC if you want to be able to do XYZ. So that's it. Pray about it. Ask God about this, if this is right or if this is close to right or whatever, and see what he tells you. But I do believe the mark of the beast will definitely be a mark, and it'll definitely involve technology, and you will know what it is when it comes out. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Pray blessing over you all. Thanks for watching. Aloha. God bless.